A blessed day, a blessed morning to all of you who are here and also those fellow worshipers in other parts of the world joining us through this live stream. One author I've read characterized this gospel today as the Magnificat of Jesus. Mary has her song of praise to God called Magnificat. It can be likened also this gospel today as the Magnificat of Jesus. It is an expression of the so-called explosion of his joy and thanksgiving. And maybe he must have witnessed also this joy, thanksgiving in his mother Mary as a child. And we find here Jesus contrasting humility of the simple ones, the simple persons, and the pride of the so-called wise and learned who consider themselves such. Pride focuses on oneself and makes one think that one does not owe anything to anyone, that everything one has is of his own or her own merit. This form of self-affirmation entails what they call a voluntary blindness, which does not want to see how much we owe to others, and which closes itself to broader and more open horizon. And the first reading today offers a good example of this arrogant attitude of when the people to whom the prophet addressed himself, who have been mere instrument of God's providence, attribute to themselves the strength that comes from God, which they have used improperly. One who adopts the attitude of humility does not need to denigrate oneself, but rather, while recognizing our own value, one knows how to be grateful for one has received from others, and recognizes his or her own limits. Therefore, one is able to see and go beyond them. Humility entails an open attitude, and the humble are consequently able to open also themselves to a higher wisdom, that which comes from the Lord of heaven and earth. Jesus, by becoming human, has placed himself on the side of the humble of the earth and has become for them the source of wisdom of life, what we call the evangelical wisdom, the wisdom of love. In the gospel today, we find Jesus rejoicing in seeing the wisdom at play, at work in the simple persons, contrasted to his experience on his preaching to the previous communities, places like what we have heard yesterday in the gospel. He issued stern warning to Chorazin, Bethsaida, Capernaum, because of their hardness of heart. pretending that they were greater than others and they did not need any other, because they were full of themselves, of believing that they were full of wisdom. But Jesus, in the gospel today, we find rejoicing precisely in the simplicity and openness of his hearers. We ask then the Lord that as we come before him, we may grow in this openness, in this humility, because only the humble persons can please God. A person so full of oneself, of himself or herself, can never please God. Amen.